Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Davidson. Good morning, everyone that's online. I am Mr. Shuyan McIntyre. As Mr. Davidson said, I'm the Curriculum Development Specialist, a part of the team here in the Human Resource Planning and Development section, and we're responsible for managing the Barrett Memorial Scholarship. Now, I'm going to give you a brief overview. One quick second. All right, so I'm going to give you a brief overview of the Barrett Memorial Scholarship. I'm going to be looking at the requirements for and the eligibility. Briefly look at the programs that are being sponsored for this academy for this cohort. And then my colleague, Mr. Biza, is going to walk you through the application process. And if you have any challenges, concerns, or questions or queries, as was said before, you can use the raise hand feature at the appropriate time, or you can write your questions in the Q&A, the chat. All right, so the Wint Memorial Scholarship is an initiative by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, which aims to provide financial assistance for those who are currently enrolled in programs in tertiary institutions. And these programs are in relation to careers in health. The program aims to provide those persons with financial assistance, whether you're a new or you're a continuing student in a specific related program. And we want to promote careers in health related fields, right? We want to fill any gap in our health sector in terms of human resources to ensure that we have a solid health sector that is able to a well-staffed health. Sorry about that. Right, so we want to be able to ensure that we have a well-trained uh, staff in the health sector, which can, of course, help us to meet the demands that we are having. So the fund was initiated for that purpose. We're in our third year of the scholarship. It's a 5-year program. It's a 5-year program fund, right? We've done 2 years already, and now we're entering our third year. All right. Now, as you probably would have been aware, the scholarship provides up to $1 million per person or per student per year, and that is used to cover tuition fee. Now, as was said before, the scholarships from the Ministry of Health, the Barrett Memorial Scholarship Fund, is for Jamaican students who are pursuing programs in health-related areas. All right. If you're accepted to a program or you're presently enrolled in one in an approved tertiary institution or a program that's accredited, you are eligible to apply. We also consider international programs or universities or institutions once the program and the institution is accredited. Okay. The award, as I said, supports tuition. All right. So in terms of what makes you eligible for the scholarship, you must be Jamaican. All right. You must have been accepted to a program. So when you're applying, if it's your first time up going into a university uh, program, is everyone seeing my screen, by the way?
Sorry, no, we're not seeing, we're seeing it not in presentation mode and it's not changing.
One second, let me fix that. Seeing it now?
Yes, better. Yeah, man, this is it.
Okay, great. Right. So you must be Jamaican and you must have been accepted to a program, which means that when you're applying for the scholarship, you should be able to produce your acceptance letter if it's your first time entering that program. Now, if you are currently enrolled in one of the approved programs that we are sponsoring for this academic year, then you would have to produce a status letter as well as your transcript. Okay. The program that you are currently pursuing or the institution that you're at, it must be accredited, and the program also has to be recognized and accredited. And as was said before, we do accept applications for local and overseas institutions. Okay. Now, if you are enrolled in a program currently, your GPA, your minimum GPA to be considered should be at least 2.75. Okay. And if you are successful with receiving an award, you must maintain this GPA for your scholarship to continue. Okay. You must submit proof of acceptance if you're a new student. Once you are awarded, then you are to provide two guarantors, and we'll walk through the whole bonding process um, at another time. You should also submit a 500-word personal statement or an essay, all right, outlining your intent and basically why we should select you for the scholarship. Okay. You should have two recommendations, and those recommendations can be from your JP, from your a teacher, a principal, a lecturer, or someone who can attest to your character and your academic abilities. All right. Of course, you need to also be able to submit an income expenditure statement, which outlines your income and your expenses. Um, Ideally for the academic year, right? So that would need to be submitted as well. Now, once you are awarded a scholarship from the Ministry of Health, from the government of Jamaica, you are bonded. So you should be willing to work in the public health sector for a period of time up to 5 years, all right? Um, After you've completed your studies. Okay. Now, what's important for us to note is that for this cohort, for this academic year, we're only accepting persons who are either entering a 3-year program, which is on the list of programs that we're offering, or your program will be completed within 3 years. Okay. So the scholarship fund has 3 years remaining, which means that your program should be completed in 3 years for you to be considered for the award. Okay. Now, once you're given an award, you're bonded for a period of between 2 and 5 years, depending on the amount of funds that you're given. And just to let you know that the awards are competitive, and we do verify every document that is submitted to us here. Okay, now these are the programs. We'll be getting some calls about what programs are being offered. Um, and these are the programs that we are considering for funding for this year. This was sent out publicly on our flyer, and persons have been asking why we're not seeing nursing, why we're not seeing other areas like psychology. We looked at the needs of the public health sector. We looked at the length of programs that are offered, and we decided that these are the areas that are of critical national importance at this point in time. Right, given the time that we have remaining for the scholarship. All right. Now, another question that I've been seeing as well is whether or not graduate programs are being considered, and the answer is yes. So once that program falls within one of these priority areas, and it's a 3-year program, graduate studies, or will be finished in 3 years, then you can apply. Okay. Um, so the applications are now open. They have been open. They were opened in, I think it was July, sometime in June, they were opened, and we're closing this Friday, right? So get application submitted. Okay. One thing to note as well is that once an award is given to a student, the payments are not made to the student's account. It's made directly to the institution that the student is attending. Okay. So applications close this Friday. So I'm encouraging you all to apply. If you have your questions, you can ask them at the appropriate time. Okay, and I'm going to hand back over to Mr. Davidson, who will continue.
All right, thank you very much, Trian. All right, so that was an overview of the scholarship program. So as you said, the applications are open now, and the deadline is this Friday, July 10th. You just go onto our website, moh.gov.jm/scholarship to make your application. All right, to go through the actual application, I'm going to invite Mr. Dean Beezer. He's our Director for International Recruitment. Did I get that big title correct? You can go ahead with your presentation. And of course, as we said, we are taking your questions at the end of this second presentation. All right, so over to you, Dean.
All right, good morning, Stephen, and good morning, colleagues and prospective applicants online. Let's turn my camera on briefly. So I'm going to turn my camera off once I have started the presentation to help with my bandwidth issues. All right, so I am thanking everyone for being a part of this information session, and I'm going to be walking you through the actual process of making a submission for consideration under the scholarship arrangements. Now, Sir Stephen, can you just confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, we're seeing a screen.
Okay, excellent. All right, so to commence the process, I would normally advise typing the URL into the address bar, but for ease of reference, I'm going to be directing you to Google. So you use the Google or any other search engine that you have as your default in your browser, and you can just type in Dr. Barry. So once you start typing, you will automatically see the scholarship site coming up in the previously. In my case, I did a previous search, so it's coming up here in the history. But even if it's not in the history, you should see Barrington or Barry Wint Memorial Scholarship coming here. So you just select it, and immediately you will see everything coming up that is pertaining to the scholarship fund. So this is the one that you would select, the first option that says Dr. Barrington Wint Scholarship, and the address for the site is here. So it's www.drwintscholarshipfund.org. So that takes you to the website. So once you have selected the website, you will have this page coming up. This is a landing page. So all the information related to the scholarship is right here. So just in case you have missed something in this session and you want to quickly catch up, you can go on the site, you can navigate the various fields that are here, all the information that you need, it's right there. You can peruse accordingly. Once you are sufficiently satisfied that you're armed with the information that you need to submit an application, you can select this icon at the top right hand portion of your screen. It says apply now. So you select it, and immediately you will see a login screen. A login screen will come up here. All right, excuse me a second. Right, so once you're at the login screen, it asks for your email address as well as your password. Now, you would not have any email address or password in the system simply because you would not have created an account as yet. So if you try to enter an email address or try to enter a password or enter your email, the password to your email address that you would use in Google or Yahoo or wherever else, it will give it won't you won't be able to progress with the application. So let us say I am John.Brown at Gmail, and let's say my password for that domain is abcxyz. Once I try to submit that application, see, it's going to say invalid email or password. So for persons who are seeing invalid email or password, then perhaps issue number one is that you have not created an account. So if you have not submitted an application for the system to create an account for you, what you need to do is you need to navigate to the bottom of this particular dialog box, which says no account, register here. So you click on the here, it has a link attached to it, and once you click the link, this registration page will come up. All right, so let's go. Creating an account. All right, so I'm populating the fields. All right, and I am putting in an email address. And this is where I now create a password. All right, so I'm going to create my password. And I am going to confirm that created password. I select my gender, and we only have 2 here. All right, and okay, and I am going to select my date of birth. Now I'm not going to choose my real date of birth, but I will certainly choose a date. Right. My mouse is a bit. Okay, there we go. All right, let's choose this default one. Hopefully the system won't prevent me from moving forward. All right, so I enter my TRN. So please, before you hit the create an account, just go through the information that you have included, that you have inputted into the system. Check your first name. If you have a middle name, spell it out. All right. So put all the information in, because this information is going to be critical in helping us to prepare the sort of information that the committee will need to make a decision. All right, guys, so you look through, ensure your first name is spelled correctly, your middle name is spelled correctly, last name. Ensure that your email address is accurate. If there's a dot, if there's an underscore, if there's a number, ensure that that information is properly inputted into the system. Because once you submit, you are not able to undo the information. And if it is that your email address was incorrect and all the other information is correct, then you still may not be able to submit an application if it is that you want to submit another application with the correct email address. So we have gotten calls where persons have included the wrong email address, they have perhaps misspelled their name, they have entered the wrong TRNs, all sorts of things. So I am encouraging us, before we hit the create account, please just be diligent in perusing the information that you're submitting to ensure that it is accurate. All right, so once you have confirmed the accuracy of the information that you're about to submit, you now hit this icon that says create account. All right, so I'm going to be hitting it. There we go. Now, in my Yahoo email, I will be seeing an email that will give me the instructions that I need to proceed. All right, so let me just go on over to Yahoo, open a new tab. All right. So I'm on the Yahoo landing page, hitting the email icon. All right, so I am looking in my inbox and I'm not seeing the email that I'm expecting to see, right? And so I'm nervous. I'm wondering what's happening. The system is not working. So one of the first things I would recommend for persons to do, check the spam, right? So the spam icon is right here. So my cursor is hovering over that icon. You hit the spam, and here we go. So this is the email that I'm looking for. All right. So you can select this section here that would select the email, and you can come here and mark this email as not as a spam, right? So this icon, when you hit it, once emails are coming from this particular address, it will go to your inbox, right? So for some reason, Yahoo has been spamming emails that are coming from our moh.gov.jm domain. Now, our IT team, they are aware and they're working on that. All right. So I am going to open the email. See, this email contains blocked images. That's the first thing. Now, for persons who are saying that they're not seeing the QR code, it's because the message is in a section that has been registered as a spam. So the system is basically protecting you from probably images that you would not want to see. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's supposed to be a QR code here, QR code box, but it's not being displayed because the system is protecting you. So you just hit this this option here that says show images, and there we go. When you scroll down, there we go, your QR code. All right. Now for the instructions, you will see 3 steps. So the instruction is here. It says that your account has been created. Please set up Google Authenticator to secure your account and complete the registration process. All right. So these are the instructions with respect to how you go about initiating the authenticator. Well, downloading the authenticator and initiating the processes that are required to establish your account. Now you would go to the Google Play Store and you will type in authenticator. Right? So if you are using an Apple device, then you would go to the Apple Store. If you're using an Android device, then you would go to the Play Store. Now I was trying to connect with my phone, but the internet is a bit problematic. I am having challenges. So I'm not able to project. So I'm going to be describing the process, and I'm hoping that the description is sufficient for us to appreciate how the process works. All right. So once you have a smartphone, right, so you have to use your smartphone for this part of the process. So I want to make that clear, right? Once you are at this step, you need your smartphone, right? So you'd go onto your smartphone, you would open the Google Play Store, or you can ask someone to assist you with this phase. You would go onto your device, you go to the Play Store, and you download the Authenticator app. Now I'm gonna hold the phone to my webcam so you can see what the Authenticator app looks like. So it's this app here, right? So it's that icon. So you cannot miss it. Once you go to the Play Store, you type in Authenticator, and it will bring up this particular app that is registered here as Authenticator. All right. So it's that handbag looking app that is sandwiched between the red looking icon and the icon with the persons, the icon that looks like 2 persons standing beside each other. All right. Authenticator. All right. And you can just copy this. You can type this word directly into your search, that the search section of your Google Play Store. Now, if you don't know what the Google Play Store is, I can ask someone, right? These kids nowadays, they're tech savvy. So you can ask any of the kids, they will tell you about the Google Play Store. All right. And for persons who aren't tech savvy, you can ask persons about the Play Store. Once you are in the Play Store, you type the Authenticator in, it brings up the app, you download the app, right? Once you are in the app, once you have logged in, it basically will show you an icon that you would use to scan the QR code. So this icon here, to the right of it, will be at the right of your screen. It's an icon that will bring up a scanner, a QR code scanner, right? Once you select it, it brings up it opens the camera and it turns your camera into a QR code scanner, right? Which you will hold against your QR code on your laptop or tablet device. Or if you're using another phone, you hold your phone, the one that has the QR code scanner open, you hold it over the device with the QR code, and it will scan and ask you it will scan the information and ask you to add. You will see the email address that you use to create the Barrington Wint Scholarship account coming up on the app. You would select it, and from there it will give you a 6-digit code that you will use to enter into your account. All right. So I hope that was clear. So I have already done the process. It has already added my account. So what I will do is I will enter my 6-digit code into the I will enter the 6-digit code into the platform. All right. So here we go. All right. Let's try this again. All right. Just give me a second here. All right. So what I'm doing is I am removing the previous Yahoo authenticator account that I had created from my authenticator app so that it can allow me to add the new one that I've created. All right, so just give me a moment, please. All right, so all right, just give me a minute off camera for me to verify a few things, colleagues.
All right, so while Dean is doing that, again, I just want to thank everybody for coming on the webinar. We're finish up this presentation, and of course, we're gonna take your questions and your comments that you may have. What you can do, you can go ahead and write them in the Q&A section or in the chat, and we will respond to you at that time. Or if you wish to speak, then at the appropriate time, you can use the raised hand feature on this webinar, and then we're going to answer your questions. So remember that we're reminding you that the deadline for the scholarship program is this Friday, July 10th. And we are hoping to make the announcements in August in time for the start of the new semester. And just confirm with me, Chuyen, in terms of persons who have received the scholarship before, who are returning recipients, what is the process for those persons?
All right, thank you, Steve. All right, so for returning students who have received the scholarship before, they do not need to reapply. All right, so what we've done is that we've reached out to the universities, the different institutions, and we have an agreement that their transcripts will be sent to us from those universities, and then we'll process it from there. So there's no need for them to reapply. They'll just receive an update that the scholarship is continued. All right. Once they met that GPA requirement, then they're good to go.
All right. Thank you very much. Ready again now, Dean?
Yes, thanks, Stephen.
Yeah.
All right, so I was having some challenges removing the previously created account from my Authenticator app. So a member of the ICT team assisted with that process. So we're good to go again. So now having the information in my Authenticator app, I now go over to the screen that is asking me for my 6-digit authentication code. And so I now enter that information here, and there we go. Right, my application, my account has been created, and I am now ready to create my application. Right, and so once I have selected the cycle, is only one cycle to select from. Once I have done so, then you will see all the major institutions here being populated. If your institution is not represented here, you can click on other, and please, you would type in the information in full of your institution. All right, the program we have pre-populated with the areas that we are recruiting for. But if it's a case where, let us say, you're applying for another program, you still want to submit your application, you can click other and you would state the name of the program. Right, at this point, you would select the level. Right, so there are different tiers or level. Right, so from certificate right up to doctoral studies, you would select that as well. Then you would enter your institution ID number. You would enter the length of the program. Right, so if the program is for 2 years, you would enter the 2 years. Right, also for the academic years remaining, so how much years will you have remaining after you, well, considering the upcoming academic year. So you're counting from the upcoming academic year forward, right? So if you're in the second year, if you have just completed second year of a 4-year program, then the number of academic years remaining for you would be 2 years, right? So you're counting from the commencement of the upcoming academic year. All right, so that should be clear. And then the year of study. So you would select where you are in the program, right? So maybe you have completed 3rd year, right? So you wouldn't put 2nd year, 2nd semester, right? So if you have just completed, well, let me rephrase that. If you have just completed 2nd year of a 4-year program, right? And that program has 2 semesters, right? Where it says where you are in the study, then you would put this 2nd year, 2nd semester, right? So when we see that, we'll know that that's where you are. All right. And then you would include your GPA. And the information is here. Are you employed? If you're employed, yes or no. If you are not employed, you're a full-time student, you're not working at the moment, you click no. But if you are, you click yes. All right. Then the next question is, are you employed in the public sector? Right. So if you are employed to the government of Jamaica or an entity that is funded by the government, right? That's our working definition of public sector. All right. So once that institution is funded by the government, or that institution is aligned to the government's mandate, the government has control over that institution, and that's our working definition. If there are any nuances, then we can work that out separately. All right. So you would indicate you're employed to the public service, and then you would state the place of your employment, right? If you're an internal employee, meaning to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, you would select where in the ministry you are based, all right? And you can then insert here your address, your parish, and your postal code. This is optional. I don't know how many of us know our postal code. Once you have entered the information, you click save and continue, and the application process will go through to where you are required now to upload documents. Now, persons have called in saying that they only see, maybe I should have gone there. All right, let's quickly go there. So I'm just putting in information so we can progress to the screen that persons have been asking about. So yes, I'm employed, public service. So I'm just putting these information for, in the interest of time. And I select my parish, Clarendon. All right, so I'm saving, continue. All right, so these are the these are the fields that you would be required to submit. All right, you would need to submit an application letter. You would need to submit an essay. So once you click on choose file, you will get a dialog box that will allow you to navigate to where on your PC you have the documents that are required to be uploaded. So as Mr. McIntyre would have referred earlier, you need an acceptance letter or a status letter. If you need an acceptance letter if you are just starting the institution that you have indicated in the application process. You need a status letter if you are currently enrolled in a tertiary level institution. All right, that is important to note. And an essay, 500-word essay outlining why we should give you the scholarship. Right, your income and expenditure statement. We don't have a generic form for this particular aspect. You can create an Excel sheet or you can create a table. On one side you have income and one side you have expenditure. Now, if you are not employed, we still expect an income and expenditure statement. Your income would be perhaps a relative, your mom, your dad, wherever, whosoever is funding your tertiary studies, or if it is coming from some scholarship arrangement, etc. That is to be included in the income, and the expenditure would be, what would your monthly expense look like? You're a student, what are some of the things that you would need to cover from that
Mr.
income,
Visa,
right? Yes, Sir McIntyre.
I don't want to break your explanation, but just to add something, because
Yes.
I'm looking at some of the applications that have come in already. For the acceptance slash status letter, I'm seeing where persons are uploading. So persons who are already in their programs, let's say in their third year of the MBBS program, they are uploading their acceptance letter from year one only. So when we look at the documents, guys, if your acceptance letter saying that you were accepted in 2024 and that does not align with your current level or year of study, then we can't accept your application. So if you're currently in year 3 of a program or even year 2, once you're in the program, what we want from you is a status letter. If you just got into the program, then you submit an acceptance letter. All right, so I hope that's clear to everyone. If you are just entering a program, right, you would not have a transcript. So in that case, Mr. Beezer, they could upload a blank file. All right. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So that can be, so you would upload a blank PDF document here. So remember, the system will only accept PDF, right? So you will see just below, right? So if you're uploading a file format like your .docx or XLS, those formats will be a problem, especially for those who are trying to upload the income and expenditure form. For those who would have done it in Excel, you can actually save it in PDF format. All right, so if you don't know how to do that, you can ask someone to assist you with getting that particular form in PDF format. All right. The recommendation letter. So some persons may say, I've seen personally, I don't know if Mr. McIntyre has seen any, but I have seen emails asking for another slot for the other recommendation letter. So I responded to one email. There were several, so I only responded. I was only able to respond to one to say to the person, scan both. So scan both recommendation letter and upload both to this particular slot. All right. So you would have, remember now we want these letters to be signed by the persons who are recommending you, right? So you have two letters in your hand. What you are required to do is just to scan both so that the scanner will put both letters together as one PDF file, right? And I don't think that the scanner will cause the size of that scan to be more than 2 megs. So it can be uploaded here. So you upload both recommendation letters will be uploaded in this one slot for recommendation letter, because the committee will be looking at both recommendation letters, right, as one file. All right, and then you would upload your transcript. Now the transcript is for those who are already enrolled in a tertiary institution, and as Mr. McIntyre would have said, for persons who are already in a tertiary level institution, what is required of you is not an acceptance letter, it's a status letter as well as your transcript. Now for the people who are saying why you want transcript and status letter, now the status letter tells us that you're currently enrolled, you're still enrolled. Now for persons who may have entered a leave of absence, now the status letter will tell us that yes, you have sat exams and yes, the results are pending, but you have also submitted an application for leave of absence, right? So that is why we want the status letter as well. The status letter tells us more than the transcript will. All right, so once you have done that, you can click save and continue, and then you will have a screen that shows you all the information that you have submitted. You verify that everything is accurate, and then you do the final submission. All right, guys, so that ends my presentation. Thank you so much. Sir Stephen, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dean, for going through the application. All right, so we want to move quickly. I think we're moving nicely. So I want to get to the questions to both you and Chuyen. Let me just look at, so if you have a questions, you can put it in the chat. You can use the Q&A section. I think I have 35 questions here. And if you want to speak, you can use the raised hand feature on Zoom. All right, so the first question, how should the income expenditure form be done? If I'm a student and unemployed, what will be placed under the income section?
Yeah, I think Mr. Beezer did alluded to that just now. So if you're a student and you don't have an income, I mean, more than likely that you would have somebody that's funding your education, and you would have an idea of how much money you're given per month to cover your expenses for the month. That could be your income. Worst case scenario, your income is $0.00, but you would so at some point have someone that's funding your monthly expenses. So that would be your income. And
All
your
right,
expenses would be
thanks.
all the expenses that you'd have for a particular month.
All right, thanks, Trian. All right, somebody's asking us to extend the deadline. The deadline is Friday, this Friday, July 10th. How many references? We needed two recommendations. We went through that just now. Somebody says, let's say a nurse who is an enrolled assistant nurse wants to specialize in nephrology or midwifery or whichever specialized area, but cannot do so because he or she is not a registered nurse. Will that nurse be selected for the scholarship this year?
All right, so with the Wint Memorial Scholarship does not fund those. Okay, so one, if you're an enrolled nurse, um,
Enroll assistant nurse.
enrolled assistant nurse,
Right. She's not an RN.
right? So I don't think that person would get into our program because the midwifery and what's the other specialization?
Nephrology.
Yeah, those are specializations, and those specializations are only for registered nurses. So you wouldn't get into our program. And if you do get into our program, we don't fund those programs. All right.
Mr. McIntyre, may I add?
Sure, Mr. Beasley.
So for the person who is an enrolled assistant nurse, the academic pathway for such an individual would have to be through a BSc in
Right.
nursing. So you
Right.
would need to complete first, well, based on how Jamaica's system is structured, you would need to generalize before you specialize. All right, so you may need to focus on getting the bachelor's in nursing, and having obtained a bachelor's degree in nursing, then you can move on to specialization. All right, so that is how the teaching architecture is structured in Jamaica. You have to generalize before you specialize. So you may need to think about an application for a BSc in nursing to move forward.
All right, thanks. The next question, will you accept the unofficial transcript or is an official transcript required for the application?
We will accept the unofficial transcript, but there must be a status letter as well. All right, but
Okay.
we'll accept the unofficial transcript.
All right, and we spoke about recommendations, so they must be scanned together and uploaded on the one section. And we are covering undergraduate and graduate programs as well, right? So this person says, if I'm currently in year 2 of PharmD program at UWI and will be in third year in September, am I eligible?
Yes. So for the PharmD program is a 5-year program, and we are sponsoring year 3 to 5 of the PharmD program as well as the MBBS program at UA.
Okay. Somebody says, I note that the general medical degree is funded, however, physiotherapy, which falls under that school, was not listed. It's a 3-year program. Is it that the degree is not supported, or would it fall under rehabilitative disability care?
Right. So the physical therapy program does fall under rehabilitation and disability and palliative care. So that's where it falls.
Okay. Somebody says, I'm a new student. The program lasts for 4 years. Can I apply and only get funded for 3 years?
No, that won't work. We would commit to a 3-year program, not a 4-year program. And since the scholarship only has 3 years remaining, we can't fund you for 3 years and then not fund for the last year, for the final year. All right.
Okay, somebody says, I've been waiting 5 minutes now. No email about a 6-digit code has been sent. Is there a delay in the system? And they say, yes, they have checked their spam.
So I think persons, all right, so that you won't get a 6-digit code to your email. And I think there's a huge misunderstanding there. You will not get a code coming to your email, right? The code will come to the code that you're asked to enter should be or is in your authenticator app. So if that app is installed, to your device, go into your apps, and that app has been set up.
Mr. McIntyre.
Yes, Mr. Visa.
All right. So there is an initial email that is sent. That email will have the QR code that they will need to scan using the Authenticator app.
Mhm.
So what I presume that this individual may be trying to say is that they have not received that email with the instructions, including the QR code that will be needed to access their account. So Mr. Davis, you may want to probably probe that somewhere. I don't know how we will be able to
Yeah, yeah.
isolate that
That's
individual
true.
to to explore that somewhere.
Well, I would say that they can send an email to scholarships@moh.gov.jm, and we can further assist. All right, somebody's asking if I was accepted to a program last year and deferred to this year. Would that letter be accepted for the scholarship?
Yes. So once your program is deferred, there's a letter that you can get from the university, which would outline that the student would have deferred to this academic year and will be starting this academic year. So once they have those two letters, then they can upload those two letters on
Come
into.
close to the mic, Julian.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. I was saying that once the student defers, they would receive a letter from the university stating that they have deferred to whichever academic year. And once they have that letter, those two letters, the acceptance letter and that deferral letter, they can upload both of those in the acceptance letter or status letter section of the application.
Okay. Somebody says, if I selected the wrong program, how can I remove that because it will not allow me to edit the application?
I'm gonna send that one over to Mr. Sinclair.
Gregory?
Okay, so currently there is no option to edit. So what you'd have to do is probably send an email and request us to remove the application, and then you can reapply. That's the only
Okay.
option currently.
All right. And our email is scholarships. Is it scholarships with an S?
Scholarships with an S, yes.
Yes, scholarships@moh.gov.jm. All right.
Mr.
So
Davis, before
yes.
we move on, probably can just emphasize the need to be diligent because it will prevent other persons with legitimate, well, let me not say legitimate, but with more, because we wouldn't want our emails to be flooded with persons who are asking us to delete an account simply because they were not diligent enough, So I think that needs to be emphasized, that just be diligent in your submission so that we won't need to be detained by the need to be deleting accounts on numerous occasions.
All right, no problem. What if we have already submitted with the one reference? What should you do to upload the other document?
Repeat that for me, please.
So they upload their application, but of course they only submitted one reference. How do they get the second reference to us? Should they email it in?
I mean, Mr. Sinclair, you're gonna say something?
Well, the one that would be a case where maybe we would have to remove the application and let them reapply, unless you have some other solution. That's the only way.
Okay.
I don't want to say send it to scholarships because I don't want persons to be sending their documents to scholarships because there is a high chance that, it will be very difficult to match the applications that we see on the portal to what we get in our scholarships email. So again, as Mr. Beezer said, be diligent, ensure that everything is uploaded correctly. Going forward, please.
Yep. But in
Right,
this instance,
but to add to that, Shane, maybe in that case, if in that particular case, the best course of action to take would be for us to delete the account and have the individual make a new submission with all the documents. It's for uniformity and for on our side to ensure that we have all the documents
All right.
being prepared and submitted as one wholesome submission.
All right. So should they email us to request the cancellation of the application?
Right.
All right. So
To
send us
put
an
in as a
email.
subject line cancellation or deletion of account so that we can easily manage emails that are coming in with that particular request.
All right. Somebody's asking, do new applicants require a transcript? That's yes. If yes, does the transcript have to come from the high school or can they get it from a heart institution?
So new applications, okay, so if you're just entering a tertiary institution, then a transcript is not necessary. If you are applying to the borrowing for the first time and you are currently enrolled in a tertiary program, then yes, you need a transcript. All right, so if you're coming from high school directly into a university program, no transcript is necessary. If you're already enrolled in a program at the university or at a college or wherever, then you would need to have a transcript.
All right. If you do not have a GPA because you are a new student, how do you bypass this step?
0.00. If you don't have a GPA, then there's nothing to put there. So 0.00 would be your GPA.
Okay. Can a first-year registered nursing student apply?
No, nursing is 4 years, a 4-year program. So it wouldn't be accepting that application would not be eligible, or that
All right.
program would be eligible, I should say.
Somebody said, I've been accepted in a program and only have the admission letter. I have not yet been issued a student ID, but the application is asking me to enter one. Also, since I am not yet enrolled, I do not have a transcript available. Can you advise me how to proceed?
Okay, what institution is that, by the way? I'm gonna ask.
Does it say? It doesn't say.
Mr. McIntyre, as we can be generic in our recommendations, there are institutions, particularly those that are overseas, that may issue a temporary offer of sort, if I want to put it that way, pending the acceptance of the offer. Then the student ID is generated. So it's unlike how we operate locally. Most of our institutions, they would give you that offer with the student ID. So in those instances, there is normally a generic or a temporary reference number in that letter that is used. So for those individuals, you can use the temporary, the reference that you are given as your ID number. If your letter does not have any such reference, then in order to, well, what you can do is you can write to us in terms of that particular challenge. So we look at your particular case and guide you in terms of how you should proceed.
All right, thank you. This person is asking, what if I have received an acceptance letter, but I'm pending a CSEC pass? Can I still apply for the scholarship, seeing that the results won't be available until August?
Um, Repeat that question for me, please, Stephen.
So they're asking, they have got the acceptance letter, they're waiting a CXE results. Should they still go ahead and apply since they're getting the results in August and our deadline is this Friday?
So if they have an acceptance letter from the university or the institution that they're applying to, then that's all they need to provide. So we don't have to wait on the CSEC results if you already have an acceptance letter.
All right, thank you very much. Let me see what other questions persons are asking. So we spoke about the ID number, we spoke about the income and expenditure. And is there any recommendations that letter should be from my employer or past teacher? I think there's a list as well for that. Let me see what else persons are asking. For a person who will be doing a postgraduate program, should I upload my undergraduate transcript? answer would be yes, right? Your latest transcript you want, right?
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
All right. Let me see what other persons are asking. We spoke about the unofficial transcript, that we would accept the unofficial transcript, but we must get a status letter from the school.
That's also correct.
That's correct. All right. I think those are. So somebody said, Mr. Truyan said we need 2 guarantors. I'm not seeing the option to add those information.
Okay, so as I said in the presentation, the guarantor information will come once an offer is given to an applicant. All right, so we don't need any guarantor information for the application. The application is for the scholarship. Once you're given an award or offer, then we will discuss the guarantor or bonding requirements at that time. So it's not required for now.
All right, somebody said they're seeing the environmental health science on our listing, but that's a 4-year degree. Would you give the scholarship for the 3 years? They didn't see a year limit on that degree, environmental health science.
Okay, so if it's an undergraduate degree, it's a 4-year program. So we will fund uh the second to final year of that program, not the first year. So if a person is just entering first year, unfortunately, they might not be funded because the scholarship has 3 years remaining.
Okay, so they're asking, what if my program is 5 years? I'm just about to start first year. I have funds to pay for 2 of the 5 years. Will I still be eligible for the scholarship?
Um, unfortunately not. All right. So as I said, the program should be 3 years or have 3 years remaining to be completed.
All right. Would the scholarship cover a fellowship in disaster medicine?
Sorry, could you repeat for me, Stephen?
They said, would the scholarship cover a fellowship in disaster medicine?
Okay.
Shane,
Yeah, yes, Bisa.
I think it is advisable let the person submit the
Right.
application and the committee makes that
We'll make a
decision.
decision. Right. Yeah. Mm.
All right, they're asking, is a doctor of medical dentistry program being considered for this scholarship for this year?
It's not been considered for this year.
Not for this year. All right. Let me see what other questions they're asking. Even though BSc in medical technology is not not on our list this year, can we still apply for the scholarship?
If it's not there, it's not been considered as a priority area. So um, the direct answer is it will not be considered. It's not a part of the priority list. So I mean, if the person wants to apply and try their luck, then they can go ahead. But it's not one of the areas being considered this year.
Okay. My school doesn't send transcripts to students. Is it okay for my school to send it to an email?
All right. So if that's okay,
They'd have to
Mr.
email it
Visa.
into scholarship.
Yeah, yes, sir, McIntyre. So we have in the past received the emails with from institutions. So it is completely acceptable for the institution to send from the approved authority in the institution to send us the transcript for the awardee for the applicants rather.
All right. So someone was asking again about a deferred. They can still apply, yes. Let me see here now.
So just to reiterate for the deferred acceptances,
Right.
uh, that must be accompanied by a deferral letter from the university or the institution. So we will not be looking at we will not be looking at an acceptance letter that was given a year last year. It must be accompanied by a deferral letter from the institution.
All right, so we have a raised hand. Rihanna Richards, you can go ahead and unmute and ask a question.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, well, I'm a second year licensed. Well, first of all, what's the
We're hearing your
process for
background.
returning?
We're not hearing it clearly. We're hearing your background more than you.
Are you hearing me clearly now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I did type two questions in the Q&A section, but is the process for returning applicants the same? Because I've been trying to apply, but it's not accepting the previous username that's I had or previous account.
All right, so you're a current recipient.
Okay.
Yes, Rihanna, just to confirm, you're a
Yes.
recipient now? Okay. All right, so we did say, well, Chuen, you want to respond?
Listen, Rena, are you currently a
She
Bible
is.
scholarship recipient?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so if you're a
She
current
is.
recipient of the scholarship, you do not need to reapply.
You speak up, Chuen. Come closer with her.
Sorry, yeah, I'm saying so, Rihanna, if you're a current recipient of the scholarship, you do not need to reapply. All right. We will get your transcript, we will get your GPA so we can make a decision whether or not we continue. All right, so no need to reapply.
All right, we have Brianna now.
Hi, good afternoon. My question
Afternoon.
is, so I just learned about the status letter. Normally, my institution takes 5 to 7 working days before I actually receive the status letter. What would I do in my case since the deadline is Friday? I did the application already, but I used my status letter. Acceptance letter. I have a status letter, but that's from last year. And also, I might have to send an email to delete my application because I did it wrong.
All right, so once you're in a program, we will need a status letter. You may have to ask for it to be expedited because it has to be submitted along with your application. Okay.
But
All right.
if it's not, then I guess I won't be considered then.
Then that's a possibility. So try to see if they can have it expedited. All right, I know some institutions have like an express service.
Okay.
So that, and if you need to have your account delete, not your account, your application deleted to be adjusted, as I said, you need to send an email so that we can have that done as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right, we're gonna go to Natoya.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Natoya Shields here. All right. As a new student, I just want to understand. I am in the process of applying, but on one of the options, I'm seeing MD third and fourth year, right? So based on what I understand from the presentation, I understand that it's only 3 years that will be paid for. So I'm wondering if from the second to the fourth year will be paid for if I'm successful.
Are you currently entering the first year? What program are you referring to?
MD,
Could you repeat?
MD,
So Doctor of Medicine,
yeah,
and you're just gonna be starting the first year of the program?
yes, sir.
All right, so okay, so for in a case like that, we may not consider that application because the program is not for 3 years. All right, and we can't guarantee that if we give you 3 years of the scholarship, you can pay the last year. Okay, so you have to be in the program already and have at least 3 years remaining to be considered eligible for the scholarship.
Okay, because I was just saying, even if it's just for 1 year, I will be grateful just for some help.
All right, thank you. Akeem? Akeem?
Hi, are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Hello?
If you can speak,
Yes, we're
Akeem,
hearing
we're
you.
hearing
Go
you.
ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead, please. All right, we're gonna come back to Akeem. Akeem, just type your question in the chat if your mic is open, but we cannot hear you. Tommy or Tamoy?
Yes,
My apologies.
good
Yes, go ahead.
afternoon.
Good
I
afternoon.
wanted to ask, if you're going into first year radiological science, I don't see that in the fees that are being accepted. Can I still apply?
That's correct. So for radiological
Okay.
sciences, we're only considering three of those, I think five programs that are offered now, and you have to be in the fourth or fifth year of those programs. So it's radiation therapy, nuclear medicine, and ultrasonography. All right, those are the only ones we're considering this year, and you have to be in the fourth and fifth years of those programs.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
All right, thanks. Is it Kalisha?
Afternoon. I have a question. I joined the meeting late and I wanted to find out, will a scholarship be offered for second year nursing student?
Okay, so nursing, we are prioritizing the specialists or specialization programs for nursing for this year. So we will not be considering, well, I would say submit your application, right? But as I said, we are prioritizing specialist nursing programs like nurse practitioners, public health nursing, nurse anesthetists, critical care nursing, etc. All right, but not general nursing, but still submit your application um, if you want to try.
All
Okay,
right,
thank you.
thank you. Shante?
Hi, afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Yes, good afternoon. We're hearing you. Go ahead.
So my question is, I just finished my first year as an occupational health and safety student. However, I'll be transferring over to environmental health and safety. Which one of those would I select when applying?
Okay, do you have a transfer acceptance letter for the environmental health program?
No, so I haven't received the transfer acceptance letter as yet, but I was told by the administrator through email that the process was being completed and I should look out for the letter from administration.
All right, so I'd recommend that you reach out to them again, see if it can be expedited, uh, so that you can make the application with that letter depicting environmental health. Okay.
So is it that I
And
would submit the status letter and the letter showing I'll be transferring from occupational health to environmental health because I've already received the status letter from the institution?
okay, so if you are to apply, your status letter would say that you're in occupational health. All right. However, you said that you'll be transferring to environmental health in September, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you were to be offered a scholarship in occupational health, based on what you'd have uploaded, then we're going to be expecting that you'll be continuing that program. And once you're in a specific program, you're given an offer for a specific program, you're not allowed to transfer it to another program or else you lose a scholarship. So as I'm saying
Oh,
to you, if you can get an offer letter or a letter that says that you're known environmental health, then you can have it uploaded in your application. And by the way, when you transfer to environmental health, will you will the first year courses count towards that particular degree?
yes, it will. So all my credits will be transferred over. So I'll be in my second year of the program.
All right, thank you. Is it Kalia?
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, go ahead.
I'm currently going in my third year of dental laboratory technology. Would is it okay to still apply and see if I would be considered?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to apply. It's not one of the priority areas. However, I'm not going to discourage you from applying. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Answer the question, yeah.
All right, let me see. Rihanna?
All right, I just had one other question in regards to the income and expenditure form. Where am I supposed to locate that form?
So there isn't a template per se that we have provided. It can be a simple Excel sheet, or it can be a Word document where I have two columns, income and expenditure.
You're low tree and you have to speak up.
Oh, all right. So, sorry. So I'm saying that there isn't a specific, we don't have a template. We haven't given you a template, but it's a simple form or a simple table outlining your expenses, your income, sorry, and your expenses. All right. It can be done in a Word document, in Excel. All right. So there isn't a specific format that we've shared that you should use.
All right, thanks. There's
Okay,
somebody,
thank you.
I'm not sure who this person is using a Samsung, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Yes,
Good
I have a
afternoon.
question. Regarding the reference, do I need a character reference or just the two from the persons listed?
Just the two from two from the persons who are listed as persons who are eligible to provide that recommendation.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right, in the Q&A, somebody's asking, can a person who certificate, or I guess a certified midwife, and wants to do the degree midwifery for 2 years, apply for this scholarship?
All right, so if the program that they're going to be doing is a bachelor's degree program or even a postgraduate program in midwifery, once that program falls within the 3 years, or once that program can be completed within the 3 years, and they are accepted to the program and can provide an acceptance letter, then they can apply.
All right. Somebody says, as a new student, I am seeing on the application that I have the option for MD, 3rd and 4th year only. Can I still apply even though the scholarship will be given when I am in 3rd and 4th year?
I don't think I understand that question.
So there's a first year student who is saying that the form we're only giving the scholarship for 3 and 4, so they wouldn't be able to apply. So the scholarship for the MD program is for persons who are in 3rd and 4th year.
That's correct.
That's right.
First
Okay.
years aren't eligible.
First years aren't eligible at this time.
Right.
All right. Let me just see here. I've gotten an acceptance to start the Masters in Public Health in August this year. What do I put in the slot for GPA and for the semester?
Okay, so they can use their undergraduate GPA, but if that's unavailable, then if it's a new student, then they can put 0.00 because we would see that they're just entering the program.
Okay. Would Doctor of Veterinary Medicine be considered since I'm going into my 3rd year of the 5-year program and it's closely related to veterinary public health? Is that something for the committee to
Right. The
consider?
committee would have to make a consideration. So encourage them to still apply, and the committee will make a decision.
All right. We're almost at the end. We have been going for an hour and a half. Let me just see what other questions. Okay, they're asking us to type the email, so it's for the deletion of the account of the application. You can just drop it in the chat for us, Chewy, and the email address scholarship@moh.gov.jm for persons who want to delete their application and to resubmit.
And remember to include in that that email in the caption.
In the subject line.
Right, in the subject line, account for deletion or deletion of account or something along that line.
All right. Somebody's, I'm not sure what it is. So if I've already signed a bond for study leave, will I use the same guarantor?
As I said before, for the application, we're not expecting you to provide guarantors for the application process. However, if that person is given an award, then we will have a discussion regarding the guarantors after. But for the application process, you don't need to consider any guarantors at this point in time. You're not asked to have a guarantor to apply.
Okay, so no guarantor to apply at this point. All right, somebody said I joined late, so my apologies if you went over this already. Where would we send or upload all our documents once we are through with everything?
The application form on the last page has the fields for you to upload the required documents. So nothing will be sent to an email. Everything will be uploaded on the page on the application portal.
On the portal, right. So moh.gov.jm/scholarship, and you upload everything there. Let me see. I think those are, for the most part, the questions that we are seeing. I don't know if Dean has any closing remarks, and Shuen yourself as we.
No, Stephen, no remarks from me at this time. Thank you.
All right, same here, Stephen. No remarks.
All right, so I think that's nothing from you, Chuyen.
Not at this time, Stephen.
All right, so I want to thank everybody for, or let's see, I see a last hand. Carrie.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Someone asked a question just now. I heard the last part of it, and I don't want to be confused. I'm just asking for clarity. As it relates to the recommendations, you have 3 areas listed: faculty, supervisor, or employer, and any one of the civil servant. Can it be from any 2 of those areas, the recommendations?
That's correct.
All right, great. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Our last question coming from Lambert.
Hi, good day. I want to know if a second year radiography student transitioning into third year, if they can still apply, given that they haven't chosen a specialization.
Okay, so that's okay. Which specialization are you considering?
Radiotherapy.
Radiotherapy. Okay, so as was listed, I'm not sure if you had seen the list of areas that we're sponsoring that will be sponsored.
Yeah.
However, we're only sponsoring levels 4 and 5 of radiation therapy, nuclear medicine, and ultrasonography. All right.
All right. You said levels 4 and 5. That is basically after you started the specialization, you're saying, right? So fourth year.
That's correct.
All right. Oh, I understand you. All right. Thanks.
But still submit your application nonetheless. All right.
All right. Good. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, so thank you, everybody. So the email address is for the deletion is scholarships@moh.gov.jm. And just remember that the deadline for application is this Friday, July 10th. And you just upload your documents, and you will hear from us in August. All right, thank you all. Have a good rest of the day and a good week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our presenters. So all the best, everybody. Take care.